Well, hello, 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 hello. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. As you all know, it is 7 o'clock. We've kind of like moved up our Wisdom Wednesday for 7 p.m. because, it's probably a little bit easier to tune in. Anyhow, of course, since this is obviously live, I won't waste any time, waiting while we're trying to gather any viewers. I mean, this broadcast is going to go live regardless whether there's one, because one is just as important as many. So with that being said, everybody, this is Marie with Just Gorgeous TV, where let's talk, keep it real, and move forward. And tonight, if you did not see the topic already, well, my. But before I go into our topic tonight, of course, the topic is never leave home or go to sleep angry. Okay, so before I dive into our Wisdom Wednesday, because I'm going to keep it short, brief, and straight to the point, I'm just going to go over some announcement really quickly. Of course, as you all know, if you didn't tune in last week, I kind of gave you all an update of what's going on in Just Gorgeous's world or whatnot with our leggings and our beauty makeup headband, right? And so just with that being said, it's been so exciting and also at the same time so overwhelming, so grueling and whatnot. I can't wait to talk to you guys about, and when I'm all done with this, I want to talk to you guys about how to start a business on Amazon, because I believe that all of us can do this. It just takes pure will, and it takes a little bit of sacrifice, and it takes you doing your research and all that good stuff, because I think everybody needs to win. I mean, everybody should be working for themselves, or at least building up a stream of income that they can control. So, why not fail at doing something that you absolutely love? You can never say that you never tried, right? So stay tuned for that. I will give you all some tips. I'm not going to give you guys all the nitty gritty because you got to do your homework as well, but I will definitely give you some crucial, tips that I learned in the last couple of months, because let me tell you, it's been hours and hours and hours of watching videos and reading like handbooks and all that good stuff to be working on Amazon FBA and launching your business there. So let's go ahead and dive into the topic here really quickly. If you are new to my channel, please do like, share, and comment, and please subscribe. I share some news, often here on Just Gorgeous TV. And of course, with all that's going on in the world, and I'm not going to talk about vaccination, anybody, of course, Just Gorgeous TV was, got their hands smacked for sharing information, which, maybe people don't enjoy truth. I don't know. But anyhow, so our topic tonight: never leave home or go to bed angry. And I will actually read from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26. And then I am going to flip it over to the scientific, side of things. And then I'm going to share a little bit of something that happened to me last weekend, because hence the reason why this is a Wisdom Wednesday. So in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26, it says, "Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil." That's a whole mouthful all in itself already, okay? And I'm just going to paraphrase it really quickly here, because basically God is telling us, don't let the sun go down. Don't close those eyes. Don't give space to the enemy and all the ugliness that's going on out there, because guess what, y'all? Life tomorrow is not guaranteed. It's absolutely not, okay? And I'm going to share briefly what happened to me last Saturday. I was absolutely upset. And of course, just because I'm a woman of faith, and because I post a whole lot of motivational, quotes that are generated, from something that I watch, read, or, personal, it's absolutely needs to be shared, because Just Gorgeous TV is all about let's talk, keep it real, right? So last weekend I was absolutely upset because we all know, and we've all experienced this, because we grow, right? I mean, obviously I'm 46, and back when I was like in my teens and your 20s and your 30s, that's many, many moons ago. And there are people, whether they are in your lives or outside of your life, watching in and whatnot. And these individuals just continues to love to bring up who you were once before, or who they thought you were because they heard it from third party, fourth party, fifth party, but they never came to you to get it from the horse's mouth what is and what isn't, right? And this is something that we can all nonchalantly say, well, I don't give a crap. I don't care, what they said, blah, blah, blah. But actually, it does hurt. It does hit different, because we can say all we want that we don't care. It really does hurt us when we hear of things that people are saying about you. Perhaps you're no longer that person any longer, or perhaps there's truth that has been twisted, or perhaps there was no truth to it. But because people don't speak to each other, and because people don't share with each other, and there are times when we have conversations where we share things and it's been taken in a whole different light because the delivery was absolutely raw and ugly. It's always good to kind of confront things, right, and go to the source. And even God said so. This has nothing to do with us. God even said, don't go to sleep angry, and don't give space to the enemy before you go to bed. I mean, obviously, tomorrow we may not wake up. So why would we even want to give, energy to toxicity and to negativity, right? I was doing a little research about this, and I found, hang on just a second here, that under Science Alert, y'all, check this out, right? They said that we now have found scientific evidence for why you should never go to bed angry. And what happened to me last week when I did get upset about some words, things that I heard that were not true, or that needed to be clarified or corrected, I left home angry. And it was so sad, because when I left home, and I was so thankful to my children, when they left, when I was leaving, because I had a business meeting and whatnot, they knew that I was absolutely upset. And then, being an OCD person, if the house is not clean, I am going to go to the roof. That is something that I'm working on, right? And leaving here, my son opened up our gate, and I was leaving, and he says, love you, mom, God bless you, be safe. And I did not say anything back to him. And when I was driving off, I looked back and I saw my son standing there at the gate. And immediately, my whole attitude, persona, I just completely shut down. If I wasn't, running late for my meeting, I would have turned around and come back. But instead, what I did was I started talking to God. I started asking God, oh my gosh, forgive me, Lord. This is not even worth it. Thank you for whispering to my son to tell me that he loves me before I left. But my goodness gracious, I didn't even say I love you back to him. And last Saturday, y'all, I was driving we live out in the countryville, like literally way back in the countryville, and the road is only, one way each way. And I was driving on the highway, and, I was doing speed limit, and there's been a lot of deaths and accident on this highway out here in California, specifically last month. I think there was at least over 8 deaths of head-on collisions and whatnot. So my phone rang, and it was actually my alarm telling me about my meeting. And I literally just glanced down really quickly, and where I was driving, I was going southbound, and this vehicle was coming up northbound, the opposite direction of me. And literally, when I put my head up, the car was like literally, like, we completely went that way. Like, I had no way of reacting. That had to be all God. I am believing that was all God. It had nothing to do with me and my fast reaction, that I avoided a head-on collision. That was in a matter of seconds. When I veered off the road, we both went off the road, because this person was cutting vehicles on the road. And I just immediately just bawled my eyes out and, on the side of the road and just saying, thank you, Jesus, because, I was talking to God when I left. And when my alarm or the phone ring, I just quickly glanced at my phone while looking up, and that could have happened. And I was so grateful that I was talking to the Lord, asking him to forgive me, for being, so mad over nothing, and just realizing that we cannot control what people say. We can't control what people do, regardless of how much we've tried our best to love on them and to show them love, gratitude, and kind. It doesn't matter. I've noticed that strength has equipped and empowered many of us by loving those who doesn't love us the same, that they would only love us because there's something what's in it for them when we are the genuine one, right? And when we look at things biblically, we're kind of like, well, they didn't love Jesus either, right? Because they all denied him at the end. So why would they not do the same thing to me? Like, who am I, right? For people not to talk about, for people not to say negative things about and whatnot, or basically holding me to the person that I once was when I was a teenager and whatnot. Like, hello, if you're not changing in your life constantly, which that is the only constant is change, something's wrong, because we are growing, we're progressing, we're moving forward. And even Jesus said in the book of Luke that we are not fit to plow when we look backwards, right? And scientifically, they have proven, it's under sciencealert.com, and they said it is absolutely the truth that we should never go to bed angry, and we should never leave home angry. I mean, I'm adding the leaving home angry because it's the same, right? And they were talking about, when we go to sleep angry, that our memories, our mind is working, and it's very vital that to the process that we're storing all these useful information, whether they're good, bad, and indifference. And what's happening with our brain when we're sleeping or trying to go to sleep, or when we're sleeping angry, that it's consolidating all these things, and it doesn't decipher, what's bad and what's good, because you're constantly, thinking about it, and it's being stored. So this study suggests that there's a certain merit in this age-old advice: do not go to bed angry. Researcher Yang-Ji Liu, who conducted the study at Beijing Normal University, we would suggest that science suggested that we need to resolve arguments before bed. And I'm going to add, we need to resolve arguments or anger or anything before leaving home, right? It needs to stay there, squash everything before we go, because just like me, I might have not been able to come home on Saturday. That was scary. And from that point on, this girl, it ain't my business what you think of me. It ain't my business what your opinion is of me. And nor is my business that I'm going to make it my business. Right? Okay. Anyhow, but they did this whole entire study about how the results showed that when they went to bed angry, that the suppression efforts were more effective after 30 minutes than when they attempted 24 hours later, suggesting that the night's sleep had helped to consolidate the negative memories, making them harder to intentionally inhabit later. Brain scans with fMRI machines during the recall suppression exercises shows why this might be happening. When the participants had tried, to sleep with positive memory, it showed that there was a neutral activity in the brain. Whew, mind blown, right? And that they were actually able to suppress and have a good night's sleep. And the researchers said those who went to bed and they trained them with angry pictures or images in their minds, because obviously our brains, our eyes are photogenic, right? We see everything. Said what happened was it memory more resistant to suppression by promoting a hippocampal neocortical, I may be saying this all completely wrong, right? Reorganization of the memory. So, in other words, if you want to forget about something unpleasant, it may be better to try to resolve it how you feel about it or move past it before you go to bed, as those memory could spread deeper and wider in your brain. Because if you don't, guess what happens? It's going to recirculate. It's going to rematriculate within your mind, and that's going to cause you to remember all the bad things. Isn't that crazy how science came alongside what God already told us what to do and what not to do? But anyhow, so, ladies and gent, that is Wisdom Wednesday tonight for you guys. Not only that I shared a few scriptures, Ephesians 4:26-27, but also showed that they did a case study on this, on how important it is to resolve all negative things before going to bed or before even leaving your home. Because remember, y'all, tomorrow is absolutely not promised, nor is guaranteed. And no matter what, we should never be that angry to tell our loved ones that we love them, because guess what? This girl did it. And I'm admitting that, and I own it, and I accept full responsibility for leaving that day, because I lost myself in regards of what I was hearing. And instead of me sitting down and chill for a moment and decompress and, return the I love you, I left. And this is why we fall short all the time. We fall short all the time because we will make mistakes. And when anger creeps up, when we give space to the enemy, he always, always is roaming to look for something to destroy you with, right? So with that being said, everybody, hope this will help you all to it's just a reminder. It's not something that we don't know, we do know, but do we implement it and practice it? Maybe not, maybe you do, because I sure didn't in the time that I really needed the most. So with that being said, y'all, may you all have a blessed evening. And then next week, I know that I got an email. Someone was asking me about, how to get on Amazon. So really quickly, there's so many research out there. There's so many YouTubes, but I will talk about that, later on in the coming weeks. With that being said, have a wonderful evening. God bless you all. And guess what, y'all? Please don't go to bed angry. Don't go to bed being pissed off. And most of all, don't leave home without saying I love you to the family and to those you love. Bye, you guys. This is Marie with Just Gorgeous TV, where let's talk, keep it real, and move forward.